So I'm in my work shirt again. There's some more work on the boat. Um, I was talking to an athlete today, young man, and he was talking about the friend zone and stuff. He's a nice, real nice, pleasant, well-spoken um, young man. The type of guy I would really, if I had a daughter of my own, I would want her to, to consider him. Um, but he was he's constantly in the friend zone. So I wanted to talk about that briefly. Um, MGTOW, men going their own way. If if you're all constantly in the friend zone and you're fed up with that, you tend to go your own way. Um, or you keep trying. But in reality, um, the friend zone, if you place in the friend zone, and like kind of upfront, know for a fact that woman is really not interested in you. She likes your company. She likes how she feels around you, but she's not interested in you. As far as an intimate relationship or even a lifelong relationship, it's just not in the cards um, at that moment. Um, what I would suggest to you, what I have suggested to this young man, a couple of them over the years, is that you know you can't be overly nice. Just be yourself. You know, don't live the movie fantasy type thing, the Disney type um, myths, because they're not based in reality. It's an ideology. It's too idealistic. It just doesn't occur that way. Um, you approach a woman, you're attracted to her, say, hey, I'm interested in you. Or you ask her name, hey, what is your name? You introduce yourself, say, I'm interested in you. This is what I'm looking for. And are you interested? If they shut you down, fine, walk away. At least you don't have to waste time and money. But if you start playing the game, try to play their game where you kind of like they say yeah, they go out with you a couple of times, but it's not really going anywhere. She's really not into you in that way, and you can let her know, hey, you ain't got a problem with continue talking, or building some kind of relationship, but you know you're not interested in being her a friend that's going nowhere. And if you're just interested in friendship, that's fine, you know. And in that way, you can still communicate with her. If like in that way, or you can simply walk away. Men going your own way. So it's more simple to just simply walk away from that person and say, look, I'm not interested in just being your friend. This is my goal. It's you're giving up the vibe that you're really not interested in me at this time, and you move on. Now you can stick around, like I mentioned before. You keep communicating and doing things. However, if you do that, you make things more complex, and you make yourself appear weaker to that girl, not the ideal guy. However, one of the ways to deal with that is don't always drop what you're doing to talk to her. If she texts you or something, don't respond immediately, even if you have the time. But if you're busy taking care of building, especially as a young man, because it's a young man, getting an education, learning a trade, getting that degree, whatever it is, starting a career, getting job experience, really building up your financial and experiential status in the world as a man, getting your own place, having that job again and be financially stable. You really won't have a whole lot of time to talk um, to drop what you're doing to talk to this particular girl. Um, you just meet, but the good thing in all of this is that you would have been clear and concise with what you wanted and what you expected and why you walked away in that regard. Um, Sometimes if you just walk away, you'll never see that person again. So no harm done. It's just a little bit of wasted time, maybe a little bit of wasted money. But again, if you stick around, you're not to be bent over for her or anyone else, you know, because then you're playing the role of a simp. Um, this hopeless romantic crap. It, you know, it's not based in reality at all. Even if you look at some of the fairy tales that Disney tells, the original stories, it was nothing like how Disney told them. For instance, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty, her real name was Anna. She was not that pretty. She didn't have the features until she actually went to the Beast and she was exposed to that, and she started like getting taller and her feet shrunk and things like that. Sleeping Beauty. The prince raped Sleeping Beauty. The only reason she woke up is because she had to give birth. And things like that. Pinocchio was a seriously violent character. Not a very nice puppet. So, take the Disney approach out of being especially a relationship, especially if you're placed in the friend zone. Um, you're too busy anyway, working on your own stuff, on your own hobbies, whatever you're into, to even deal with such a thing. If you find she puts you in the friend zone, leave it like that. If she's making up a whole bunch of excuses, leave it like that. Don't fight, because you're wasting time, energy. You're stressing yourself out, completely unnecessary. Um, and that is why MGTOW philosophy is so um, important. It's like you just don't give a damn about how that woman think or feel at the time. Again, your communication is clear. You didn't get the results you want. Don't waste a whole lot of time and effort into it. Um, I was in a previous relationship where I met this woman. She wasn't really young. She was a little bit younger than me, but we talked. Um, we had a good time, but she was already married to everything else. And even though there was intimacy, just that alone wasn't really enough to for me to think, well, just let me hang on a little bit. I knew from the jump that yes, we're intimate, we're going out, we're doing things like that, but there were other things that took first place, and second place, and third place, and fourth place. So, and I almost did I don't know how to say, some simp stuff, but some things that was like a little bit over the top, and I got the vibe. I knew that she, that the response, but I did it anyway because I really wanted to test to see what she was about, beyond the, because modern women, they're dropping, sex like it's like dirt nowadays. So that alone doesn't say, hey, this woman's into you. You got to look at everything else. So I deliberately did some over the top stuff that might come off as hopelessly romantic, but only to see. But a relationship, really, I set it up in a way where I let her walk away from the relationship, because I was really blunt with her. And I said, you got to think about this stuff, and all the stuff you're doing. You're already married. There's no space in your life for me. That's how I explained it to her. A few days later, we ended the relationship. I didn't lose anything out of it. Whatever I spent, you know, I felt compensated by the intimacy, so it didn't really bother me as much. However, I would have liked to see that relationship go into like maybe marriage and stuff like that. But using the MGTOW philosophy, going my own way, again, didn't come with any grudging, any displeasure, any of that. Another good example I would use a few years back is this really hot woman. I would put her in 9, maybe 10. She was fine, very athletic, beautiful Italian, um, kind of like a socialite, and she had a gorgeous name too. But I don't want to say it because we still we still talk here and there. I check in on her from once every 2 or 3 years. We're Facebook friends, and I got a phone number, I struck up a conversation, I called her to see what she was about, and she was talking about all these other relationships she had been through over her life. And then even though I didn't know then what I know now, instinctually or intelligently, I understood that she really wasn't interested in me, and I didn't really pursue it. I kind of stuck her in the friend zone, and like on subconsciously, I guess. And she doesn't know that, and I don't think she really gives a damn either. I mean, because the vibe was she wasn't interested in me in that way. But I could talk to her on occasion, but I will never bother with her. I mean, if intimacy does occur, that's fine, but I will never marry her. I don't want to be in a boyfriend girlfriend committed relationship with her. Why? She's too old. My market value has gone up, and hers has diminished. And she's still fine. She still looks like a 9, maybe a 10. She is that fine at her age. I would say she's even more fine than Angelina Jolie, um, because she has a much nicer body. She has a gorgeous face, a much nicer body. But again, I would not mess with her. Just let her stay in the friend zone. That's where she belongs. I understand subliminally that she wasn't interested in me. I felt a little hurt about it, but I moved on. And that's where having a, a good understanding of who you are, and you know your worth, and if it's not where it's supposed to be or where it should be, you work on that and your worth go up. And I give those 2 points because a lot of times you can be put in the friend zone, and you would stay there and you will talk to this girl for years, and it will always be like a waste of your time, and you really don't want to waste your time and energy on things on that's going nowhere, when you could focus it on yourself, focus that time and energy on yourself to build your career, get your finances in order, plan for your future, all that stuff. I hope you like this video. If you like it, subscribe, share it, because again, I really think it's important. I usually don't talk, do a whole lot of videos unless there's something important I feel is important. And for the past few days, I've been putting out some videos because I really think it's important when it comes to these relationships. And there's a lot of simp mentality and behaviors that is softening of men in a way, in a negative way. Because you're still expected to provide and protect, but we're taught, or at least I've seen it being taught, that by women to these young boys growing up to men, to be empathetic, sympathetic, sensitive, all the crap that's really we have it within us to do a lot of those stuff, but how we express it is not the same way women express those things. And young men are doing a little too much, well, way too much unnecessary stuff that puts them in the friend zone. If you're in MGTOW because you were placed in the friend zone, you were doing too much. Focus on yourself. Someone will come along and see what's going on in your life. Don't when you go your own way, don't burn the bridge to find your way back. Because you just haven't encountered the right person. And there's a saying I tell my kids that I raise, even my athlete: nothing worth having is easily attained. And you will go through some traumas. You will get a lot of failures. You might even have some successes that turn into failure later on. That is why it's so important to be good with yourself first. So when things do go wrong, you are good. And I don't know how else to stress that, but I hope you guys understand. If you don't understand, ask a question in the comment section down below, where I can explore it a little more. I do read my comments and stuff like that. So again, like, subscribe, share the video if you think it's worth sharing, and you'll have a good day.